Halifax it will be who will kick off. They will attack in the usual blue jerseys from left to right. As we watch, Robert Connolly is ready. He blows the whistle. Mike Umanga, the fullback, starts. So St Helens will have the first set of 6. First touch back after 5 weeks for Bobby Goulding. He gives it to Chris Joynt, and the chase arrives. Pearson and Rowley and Baldwin bringing Chris Joynt down. Here's the Saints team: Haig, Arnold and Hunt, Newlove, Sullivan, Long and Goulding, who gets the captaincy again, Pickervance, Cunningham, O'Neill, Joynt, Matautia and Hammond. And on the bench, Hayes, McVie, Morley and Anderson. Coach Sean McRae. Halifax, Umanga, Tuilangi, Bouveng, Powell, Amon, Moana and Pearson. Harrison the captain, Rowley and Marshall the front row, Heighton and Jackson the second row, Baldwin loose forward. And on the bench, Munro, Dean, Seal and Boothroyd on loan from Bradford. Coach is John Pendlebury. Sean Long was under pressure then. He got the kick in though, but it was straight down the throat of Mike Umanga. Umanga runs the ball back to the halfway line on the 0 tackle.
Good work by the second row, or should I say loose forward today, Simon Baldwin. He really did apply the pressure. That's why the kick wasn't all that good. Straight down the throat of the fullback, Mike Umanga.
Paul Rowley gets the ball away. That is Richard Marshall in the headgear. Tackling completed by Sean Long and Chris Joynt. Chris Joynt, who wants away from Knowsley Road, going in there, the second man in the tackle, standing up now at the first marker, Chris Joynt. A bit unhappy apparently, needs a new challenge and so has asked for a move. This, in the meanwhile, is Halifax in possession with Martin Moana. They are 30 metres away from the St Helens line. Carl Harrison, so distraught and upset after Halifax's poor showing in the World Club Championship. And he, I know, is hoping for better things. That's great work, though, by Goulding. Good charge down, and look at the Welsh flyer. Sullivan hacks ahead, bounces perfectly. Try, what a try. The kick ahead was charged down initially by Goulding. He got the march on Marshall, who had no speed at all on the turn. Goulding hacked it ahead, and Sullivan came up like an express train. The bounce was kind, and Sullivan touches down. Terrific try from St Helens. That flamboyant style that I was talking about at the start of the programme, you see it in the early minutes here at Knowsley Road. Sullivan with the try.
Didn't take long for the mighty Bobby Goulding to make an impression on this game. It was tremendous stuff. He applied the pressure to Pearson, who took a long time. The prop forward, Richard Marshall, tried to drop on the ball in vain, and you could see he's shouting away his Goulding to the winger, Anthony Sullivan. Nothing was going to stop him. That was tremendous stuff. No way in the world that Tuilangi could get to him. But tremendous effort by the Saints skipper. And the prop forward, or the winger, Ferretti Tuilangi, could get nowhere. It bounced up superbly. You take your chances, and on this occasion, they potted over the 4.
And Goulding with the kick. Successful conversion. And there's no doubt about it, the little scrum half is back. A new look with that blonde rinse, or is it a strawberry blonde rinse? I'm not sure, but anyway, it doesn't matter what's on top of the bonce. As Anthony Sullivan proves, it was a terrific try and great speed from the Welshman.
Well, not on top of the bonce, it's what's inside it. Real good effort there by the skipper, Bobby Goulding. Whilst he was off, recovering from that operation to the groin, he was adamant that once he returned, you would see a different St Helens. New attitude, he said.
St Helens now offside, though. Penalty to Halifax.
Chris Joynt not too happy about his colleagues, who had moved up extremely quickly out wide. And you can see there that Robert Connolly was quite happy to give the penalty, but that man wasn't. The man who wants away from Knowsley Road said he needs a new challenge, wants a new club. Well, Chris Joynt was not too happy with his colleagues either.
Well, while he's at St Helens, he will give 100% for the cause. He has also assured Sean McRae of that. This is Richard Marshall again, who was so slow, I must say, in turning to get that charge down from Bobby Goulding.
Well, to be fair, he was a prop forward, found himself in an invidious situation. And I'll always back a little halfback as against the prop forward. and that's how it turned out.
Harrison, the Halifax skipper. Last time he touched the ball, of course, Saints came up with a try. This is Rowley. Great run from Rowley. Stealing easy meters from the dummy half there. This is Pearson. And he gets the pass straight into the arms of Paul Newlove.
Did well, Newlove. He'd come up quickly. He wasn't offside. Took an age to keep that ball alive, and that's why the reason he positioned himself well. But what a great run there by Paul Rowley. So's this. Danny Arnold skipping and stepping back on the inside.
Goulding to Long. Long to Andy Haig. Haig, the fullback, chiming into the line. He's 43 metres away from the Halifax try line. This is Newlove. Newlove, of course, not the best flyer in the world, but will be on the jet plane in the morning with this St Helens team as they head off down under to restart the World Club Championship. They play Cronulla next Monday. Goulding with the kick out wide. Arnold tried to pack the ball back, but couldn't prevent it from sailing out.
Well, the combination over the seasons with that man, Danny Arnold, and the little halfback, Bobby Goulding, has brought up many tries. Actually, I thought the build-up to that, the play of the ball, I thought that Julian O'Neill actually dropped it. Either way, Halifax have got possession. Well, we've seen an open game so far. Both sides not frightened to keep this ball alive. So I think we can look forward to plenty of tries.
Let's hope so. This is Baldwin. By the way, that match between Cronulla and Saints you'll be able to see next Monday at 10:25 a.m. live, and it will be repeated at 4:30 in the afternoon. As we did in the first phase, we'll be following the World Club Championship here on Sky Sports, and I know that we will have you with us. Haig drops the ball, but the ball went backwards, says Robert Connolly. Well, that's an escape for Andy Haig.
Well, he had it, and you could see it roll straight through the fingertips. Good positioning, though, by the official. He was pretty close to that. Could see that the ball had gone behind him. But they will gain a lot of confidence, Halifax. Surely they'll use the high kick again. Andy Haig.
Offside. Halifax moving up far too quickly.
Eager to get involved, including the prop forward and skipper Carl Harrison. Well, he's made his intentions quite clear as the referee, Robert Connolly. And he wants an open game and that you've got to get back to full 10.
This is Ian Pickavants. Good offload to Matautia, who shrugs away one tackler, ducks between two more. A robust run from Vila Matautia. Long and Goulding, they have high hopes of that combination. This is Joint. Joint brought to the ground. Good tackling.
Good work by Dayo Powell. You could see that Joint was looking to pass the ball back on the inside.
Hammond through the hands of Pickavants, but Arnold was smart enough to check his stride and come back and drop on the football. Pickavants again. Used so many times this year, Ian Pickavants as a substitute. On from the start tonight. Newlove.
Did well to take that, Paul Newlove. It overrun the pass. Doesn't stand deep. Not a big centre, but...
Nice switch of direction by Goulding. Good crossfield kick as well. It's high, Hunt's after it. Hunt pats the ball out wide, but the ball obviously went forward. Danny Arnold thought he was over for the try, but Alan Hunt, forward pass.
Second occasion, the big kick out to the right-hand side by Bobby Goulding. Did well there, though, Alan Hunt. Reached up well above everyone else. Just went forward in the end. Well, the tactics are pretty sound, and I'm sure that we will see the same when Halifax get into the Saints quarter. They'll use the high bomb.
Pickavants is injured, by the way. That's why he has been replaced by Derek McVie. So the Australian, who started just 9 this year.
Well, that was an unusual passage of play there. It played the ball and it couldn't move forward the ball because of the headgear had fallen off.
Moana now, but that's good tackling again from Hunt.
There you see. There you see.
And no head on the player either. The jumper was over the top of his head there.
That's not a knock on, it's a head on. Well, they lost the plot there, Halifax. The Blue Sox run the power play, didn't realise it. Handover.
Long, a lovely dummy, and a great step. Oh, brilliant stuff from Sean Long. Fantastic try, and didn't he enjoy that? Only his second try for St Helens. A lovely little dummy, and then a sidestep and a jink, and the entire defence was wrong-footed, and Sean Long shot through the gap. Well, they have high hopes of the Long-Goulding combination, and so far in this match it's coming up trump.
Well, it came about by Halifax not really reading the script. They should have been kicking the ball downfield. They handed the ball over at the changeover, and this man has just cut them to ribbons. Tremendous play there by Long. Sean Long's ability to step and use the swerve and the speed just cuts through this Halifax defence. Not the best attempt there by Martin Pearson. And once he set sail for the in-goal area, he knew he was going to claim the 4.
Well, Goulding has kicked one from this area just a few minutes ago, and he's got the sight set this evening all right. St Helens 12-0 up against Halifax.
2 men going out wide on defence. Watch him when he throws the dummy. They fail to fill in. Off he goes, back on the inside. That is a great individual try. The combination obviously working, the 2 halfbacks, Long and Goulding.
And from the kick-off, a mistake by Michael Jackson. Loses the ball, knocks it forwards.
Well, they're going through the horrors, aren't they? He had 3 attempts at that. Second row, Michael Jackson. No pressure applied to him either. He had all the time in the world to get to it.
Goulding feeds and gets the possession, a 1-2 with Long, then fires the ball into the arms of Haig.
Well, they should have needed the second phase of attack there. Haig, the fullback, was looking for support.
Here's Newlove. Strength from Newlove, and it takes 4 to bring him down. Sullivan, the dummy half. This is O'Neill. Inching towards that Halifax try line. Cunningham at dummy half. He's trying to poach one. They read it. They managed to keep him out, but that's how close the Saints are with Goulding now. Fires the ball into the arms of Long. A little reverse switch then with Matautia. Good job, the Halifax defence was alert. That's the last tackle. 4 metres made in this set, that's all. Little dab through by Goulding. Straight into the arms, though, of Moana. Amon, rather, I beg your pardon. And Asa Amon, good strong run. And good pass also to Umanga.
Tremendous work there by the winger. Asa Amon put himself in tremendous position.
Messing around at the play the ball. Andy Haig penalised by the referee.
Good passage of play by Saints. And again, we see the qualities of Bobby Goulding's little short kicking game. With full credit to the winger, Amon. He was in a great position. And I'm afraid the Saints defence allowed him too much latitude. There was too many men going too high. He's such a big man. The only way to bring him down is by the legs, I can assure you.
Well, this really is a League of Nations team, Halifax. It's Ferretti to Elangi, who is playing the ball there to Paul Rowley. This now is Carl Harrison. There are Western Samoans, Tongans, Welshmen, Englishmen and a Kiwi out there in the Halifax Blue Sox jerseys. From the 4 corners of the globe, this is the best of British, Michael Jackson, but a good tackle, Hunt in there, and also was Derek McVie.
You don't count Yorkshire as a country, do you?
Definitely not.
Being a Scouse.
This is nice play from Halifax. Baldwin.
Good defence, though. They're moving up very, very quickly. They really are getting themselves organised, the Saints' defence. So important to go down to Australia with a convincing win under their belt. That's what their coach wanted, Sean McRae. Quite a few players coming back from injury, so he's rebuilding the side.
Rowley drills the ball along the ground into touch. Tended to lose their way a little there on that attack, Halifax.
Well, he was looking for someone else to take the kicking duty and was left with nothing else but to do it himself. And as you mentioned, Eddie, they do appear to be losing their way.
Well, they had Bradford 26-6 down at half-time on May the 27th, but they lost that one in the second half, and they have won just one of their last 10, 49-24 at Sheffield. As well as all that, of course, they have to face Canterbury and Canberra and Brisbane again in the World Club Championship.
Good run from the hooker, Kieran Cunning, and also good work there from the other second row, Vila Matautia. Well, real mess up to play the ball.
And Rowley back chatting the referee, Robert Connolly, and being marched back 10 more metres.
You can see he pushed on him, went round the side at the play of the ball. You've got to stand square, you can't move until the ball has been played. And it does not surprise me that the official will have a few words to say to the Halifax hooker, Paul Rowley. I'm the boss, I'll referee, you just play the game.
St Helens spurning the opportunity of a kick from this man, Bobby Goulding, but he's gone without the ball. That's a knock on, that's a mistake on the, well, very early in the tackle count, first to second.
Well, he overran this. You can see it was a forward pass to start with. That's the reason why he had to go back for it. Wanted to go through the gap. He was running the angle. That's what Saints have been missing over the past 5 weeks. They certainly have missed him.
Martin Pearson playing today at scrum half to try and nullify the effect of Goulding. John Pendlebury playing Martin Moana as his standoff. This is Paul Heighton now. Prop forward to the halfway line. Rowley's the dummy half. Now Marshall. Good tackle by Matautia. He went low and O'Neill came in over the top.
Been a better effort by Saints. Not
Didn't
playing
play the ball properly. Heighton did not play the ball properly, according to Robert Connolly.
Well, a bad mistake. As if they're not in enough trouble. 12 points down. And you see Marshall.
Sorry, it was Marshall, not Heighton. My apologies.
I think perhaps Marshall was looking at the referee saying, well, I think I got a stud to it. Pretty close.
Here's McVie. Good offload to Hunt. Hunt then losing his footing. 30-metre line. Plays the ball to Danny Arnold. Tackled strongly by Carl Harrison and Michael Jackson.
Well, I know Saints coach Sean McRae was so interested to see how the halfback combination of Sean Long and Bobby Goulding would transpire.
McVie dropped the ball then. Halifax have got it back. Good run here from Rowley. Looking for support. It arrives eventually from Umanga. Now it's Amon. Amon is through. He's got support from Umanga again. Those two taking on the Saints on their own at the moment.
This is where McVie lost the football. He definitely tried to release the ball itself. It certainly wasn't reefed out by a Halifax hand. Well, Moana and Amon, they've combined a couple of times. That should lift their spirits. I was just about to say that the St Helens' problems over the past few weeks has been their defence, especially in and around the play the ball area. Their first and second markers have not been working hard enough.
This is Tuilangi. No, it isn't. It's Martin Moana who plays the ball untidily to Rowley. Powell managed to get that pass in somehow.
Well, again, we see Halifax running the power play, and again I feel that they didn't realise it was the last tackle. Well, they've got to get themselves sorted out. Carl Harrison is the skipper. He's a prop forward. But someone should be directing out there to saying getting their kicker sorted out.
Here goes Matautia. He's not a bad player when he's at full steam like that. The ball
back to 6.
Yes, it took a little flick from a Halifax hand.
Good run from Matautia again. He's been playing with injury problems for quite some week now.
Interference at the play of the ball. Martin Moana penalised.
Well, how long will the patience be? This is the great run from Vila Matautia, who I mentioned has been suffering from injuries, but he's been playing on with the pain.
Good tackle by Umanga on McVie as he broke the line. Here's Joint. 10 metres from the posts. St Helens looking for their third try. Plenty of tackles left. This is long to Alan Hunt, and Hunt escapes the clutches and gets the third right behind the posts. Alan Hunt with the try. It was all just a little bit too easy for St Helens then. The Halifax defence simply melted away, and Alan Hunt hits the round dozen.
Well, it all came about from that lovely run there by the second row of Matautia. Put them in this position. The combination, it was a simple ball out wide. The defence just melted away. Combination of the two half-backs, Goulding onto Long, and you could see that the big centre was coming at speed. This is the run from Matautia that started it all. Well, he's in fine form. He touched the Halifax hand. Arnold took it on from there, and this is the result. Good team effort.
And from bang in front, Goulding adds 2 more. Saints 18, Halifax 0, and Halifax, who are going through the absolute horrors, are going to get little respite here by the looks.
There you see the defender comes out, and the man's there, but he'd gone just that little bit too much, put him off balance, and not enough strength to stop that man.
Well, that was the previous look for Alan Hunt. And, of course, it's the new look Alan Hunt who has just scored the try.
Always amazes me, people with hair, what they do with it at times. Chance would be a fine thing.
Yes, jealousy is a curse, isn't it? Ball comes out. Halifax retain possession, though. Umanga. John Pendlebury, the Halifax coach, in the centre of your screen, has a man with problems. We've seen his side a couple of times this year throw big leads away, but that's a much better run from Height.
Great work there by Height, and he just swatted off Sean Long, the stand-off, as though he wasn't there. Now then, as Andy Haig pinched that, but the referee says, let Martin Pearson play the ball. Oh, dear to me.
Marshall loses the ball, knocks it forward.
Bring the Marshall and the shotgun, I'm afraid. You could see he took his eyes off the football. Not the best pass, to be fair to the prop forward. He's a bit high. You could see he just had a little glance where the defence was.
Snappy work from the base of the scrum by the Saints, and Sullivan has danced past 2. Can't get away, though, from Paul Rowley. This is Harrison, who was doing the tackling then on Joint. Now McVie. Big collision there, but McVie all right. Haig. Here's Cunningham now. Cunningham outplayed last week by James Lowes here, as the Bradford hooker certainly pushed himself, I think, into pole position for the Great Britain job later in the year. Cunningham's out to reclaim it. That bounced off to Ilangi, off his chest.
Let's play on. Didn't get a hand to it. But the chest.
No, the referee now has glanced at the touch judge, and he has given the knock on.
Well, Tuilangi has a little glance at the flag waver. Perhaps it did come off the shoulder from a different angle there.
I think John Connolly believed it had come off Tuilangi's head.
I thought it came off the shoulder to start with, but on the second replay, remember, of course, that the officials do not have that advantage of the replay, the second one, or the first one.
Newlove. Terrific run from Newlove. And his opposite number, Asa Amon, got to him and hauled him down 8 metres short. This is Long, and now Goulding. Here's Hammond. Diagonal run from Joint was the dummy runner. Sullivan back on the inside. Second try for Anthony Sullivan. This man is absolutely lethal this year in terms of scoring tries. St Helens working the angles, and Sullivan, who got 2 at Thrum Hall in June, comes up with another 2 against Halifax here.
Quite outstanding piece of football. The combination of Sean Long. He took the ball first, which had allowed Bobby Goulding to run out wide. Then Hammond showed the skills. Through the dummy, even dummied our cameraman to start with. But he got him back on track, as did that man, Sullivan. Tremendous play. Long watch out, Goulding goes out, and then Hammond throws the dummy back on the inside. Then he brings the winger in. That is fine rugby league football. Hammond could have gone on his own, but he did the right thing. Little doubt in my mind that the loose forward, Carl Hammond, would have crashed over. But when you've got a winger that's coming back on the angle, why not?
Well, Sullivan, ominously for the Blue Sox, scored 4 tries against them here in November 1995, and he's halfway towards repeating that feat. This is probably the most difficult that Goulding has had, and he just misses this time. Slid it an inch or two the wrong side of the post, but 22 points to 0. It's an impressive return.
There you see the defender, the dummy back on the inside, the dummy runner. That's why the defender leaves the gap. And once he throws it back on the inside, it's a clear run for Sullivan, who's in fine form. Second try of the game. The Saints are running hot.
They are, and let's hope they take this form with them to the World Club Championship down under. Interesting yesterday talking to Sean McRae. Apparently the St Helens players have chipped in to make sure that none of the first team squad is going to be left behind. They're all going to fly out to Australia, 24 of them, the 17 on duty here, plus 7 others will leave 6:30 in the morning. And the players apparently have chipped in with one thing and another, about £9,000 to take 4 of their colleagues with them. I think that's a tremendous effort, and it just shows the team spirit that really does exist here at Knowsley Road.
Tremendous stuff by the players there. Consolidate the team spirit, that certainly will.
Even Tommy Martin, Steve-O's going, because he will be able to have daily physiotherapy on his injury, which is it just shows you it's not just the ones who will play, it also includes Tommy Martin in that.
Well, it also shows to the rest of the rugby league world that there is pretty strong spirit here. I mentioned earlier in the game that whilst Bobby Goulding was away, he was so adamant. Oh, good run there. Great run from Chris Joint. Just getting back to the point, he was that adamant, the fact that you'd see a new St Helens when he came back. He really does have his amazing ability of lifting the side.
Goulding with the pass to Hammond, and this is McVie, and he loses the ball, but picking up the pieces is Sean Long. Good tackle. It's going back to the players chipping in, Steve. Oh, I'm sure you did that in your day, didn't you, when you wanted to get some players on the bus to Batley or Bramley or somewhere like that? Just a short journey, of course.
Oh, I'd throw in my odd shilling. Oh, that's a bad pass. A gift to Sullivan. Well, they're becoming their own worst enemy, I'm afraid, Halifax at the moment. It was never on. Not that there was much support for him.
The thing that amazes me is you still got plenty of those old shillings.
Well, they're silver threepenny bits that go in the pudding at Christmas. Well, it's a good effort, this. There you see McVie, the ball going backwards, had the opportunity. But I must say, it's a great effort from Saints in their defensive line. It has been a problem in the past, but they've worked it out. Oh, that's going to be a penalty. Matautia's hand in there.
It is. 2-man tackle, so Matautia, having stripped the ball from Harrison, concedes the penalty. Halifax have made a change, by the way. Craig Dean has come on. Simon Baldwin, the man he has replaced. And remember at Headingley, when we saw Halifax against Leeds, Craig Dean made a huge difference. There's Baldwin taking a breather, and little Craig Dean on.
Well, there's quite a few people out Halifax way feel that Craig Dean should be in the starting lineup.
And also out there is Alan Boothroyd. There he is, number 33, the man on loan from the Bradford Bulls on his debut.
You could see there how quick the Saints defence is moving up. They're forcing Halifax virtually back down the middle. Though that's a good ball.
Umanga with space ahead of him. Hay tries to cut him off. Oh, and the ball inside for Dean is intercepted by Goulding. And Dean thought he was on for a try then, but Goulding had other ideas. Smart work from the Saints skipper, but a try has gone begging for Halifax.
Wonderful work by Umanga, who cut through there. It was a tremendous pass out wide. Alan Hunt had come out of the defence very quickly, left the gap, and there was no way in the world that Bobby Goulding was going to be sucked in. He just put him back on the inside, and to his surprise he received the pass. That's a bit high, and Boothroyd surely, well, he's got away with that one. Well, I don't know what O'Neill's done. He's got rid of the ball. O'Neill thinks he's got a penalty. Well, he's got to give it because he's passed the ball in effect after the tackle is made. But there's little doubt in my mind that Alan Boothroyd made a pretty big hit with the left arm. Watch the head go back. The official Robert Connolly said that was okay. Now, obviously concussed, he thinks the penalty's been given. And O'Neill has to be given the situation where it is passed after the tackle has been completed. So therefore, it has to be a penalty.
Penalty is given. The referee had a word with the touch judge, who in turn now has had a word with the policeman on the far side.
Well, this is the incident.
I think we might have some lunatic in the crowd, Steve-O, with a second whistle. Here's Boothroyd now.
Well, I hope someone tells him where to put it, or take it off him at least anyway, so that we can get on with this game. It's so stupid when fans do that.
Forward pass. Rowley walks away, cursing to himself. Carl Harrison asking the referee what that was for, but it's obvious now.
Well, he held on to the football far too long. Big prop forward, and the skipper Carl Harrison was steaming onto the football, but you could see from the high shot it was definitely forward.
Umanga and Pearson doing the tackling on Andy Haig. Chris Joint now. Big tackle on him by Boothroyd. That's why they've brought him from Bradford. All the big hits.
He's a big boy, and he has not missed so far. If they wanted someone to lift their spirits, then Boothroyd is the man. Let's play on.
Ball popped out. Hammond found McVie. McVie stands in one tackle, gets a lovely ball away to Alan Hunt, who squirms away from the defenders first time, but Moana and then Boubeng came in to finish him off.
Good work by the Australian second row. McVie really has this great ability to go in and out and get the ball away in the tightest of situations.
Great run from Andy Haig. The ball bounced off his face. It looked like he'd lost it. Halifax thought he had, but he held on somehow. Carl Hammond hasn't there. The referee will bring them back for the first, yeah.
Well, Bobby Goulding just sending a little bit too forward for the loose forward, Carl Hammond. That would have been deemed a forward anyway. And if looks could kill there, Hammond had a glance at his skipper, saying that wasn't the best.
Carl Hammond, it's his 6th game back after the bout of pneumonia, but always getting through a lot of defensive work at the moment. He has looked a pale shadow of the player that went on the Lions tour last year. That ball wasn't played properly. Referee allows it to go.
Well, again, we see the strong defence. He's working hard, is Carl Hammond. Back in his usual position at loose forward. Likes to play at the back of the scrum base. Gives him a lot of latitude out in the field of play.
Good crossfield kick to Elangi's after this. Hammond's dropped it. Pearson's picked it up. Play on. Tries given. Collision. Hammond and Tuilangi. Pearson was there looking for the bits and pieces that came, and Pearson touches down. Try number 9 of 1997 for him. Halifax coming back.
Beautiful high kick, and really they should have done better with it. It was Dean that got the big boot to it. Hammond got across. Tuilangi, or should I say Haig, the full back, and it was a big hit by Tuilangi, and Pearson supported well. Well, we saw early in the game that Andy Haig wasn't too confident under the high kick. They got away with it in the first occasion, and it went back, but as soon as he touched it again, bang came the tackle. Pearson picks up the 4. They needed them.
And Pearson now can add the extra 2. Just to the right of the post as he looks. Should be 2 points here. Ooh. He just squeezes it inside the post. Seemed to twist his foot almost, his non-kicking foot, as he struck that ball. 22 points to 6 though. Managed to find the mark.
Well, there you see, popped up, and the impact of Tuilangi allowed Pearson the simplest of tries, but it's an option that I'm sure they will continue to use. Just as we've mentioned, that Andy Haig not too confident in the department of diffusing the high kick.
So something for John Pendlebury to build on in the second half, maybe. Eric McVie off, Chris Morley, the Welsh international, on. Vila Matautia. Good tackle by Boothroyd. Cunningham darts away from dummy half again. Gets St Helens to the halfway line, stands, thinks about and tries to release, but Rowley's all round him. Then Jackson comes in, the third man, to eventually bring him to ground. Goulding, little chip over the top. Well read by Umanga. Hammond was after it. Ball comes out, but it was ripped out in a two-man tackle.
Bobby Goulding just had a hand on him. And even though Bobby Goulding tried to get a hand away, the look of despair towards Robert Connolly didn't work. Hammond definitely reefs it away. And you can see clearly that the right hand of the skipper, Bobby Goulding, was on the fullback Mikey Manga. But at least St Helens are trying something different. Little chips over, running the angles and using the dummy runners.
Boothroyd again does well, gets the pass away. Rowley, Harrison rather, arrives in support. Dean goes into dummy half, and Moana went without the ball, but it went backwards, so Michael Jackson retains possession for his club. Let's say since Dean has come on, and here he is again, he's involved in everything. Finds Pearson. Pearson kicks through. Long collects the kick for Saints.
Nice option. It came off Newlove. There you can see it went backwards, but eager to get back again as a standoff. Sean Long is having a fine match.
Cunningham again at dummy half. Matautia now back on the inside to O'Neill. Julian O'Neill, by the way, Anthony Sullivan and Vila Matautia, the three ever presents in this St Helens team this year. Neat play. Newlove just loses his footing though. Now Long, collared by Pearson. Last tackle for Saints.
Good work there by Martin Pearson, the little halfback. He's working hard, trying to get the Blue Sox back into the swing of things.
Good kick from Goulding. Precision kick.
Little General, realising it's getting close to the half-time break at 22-6. Positional play is so important. Tremendous effort there. Average 9, 3 so far, and I think we'll find plenty more once it gets into the swing of things. A little bit rusty after being off for 5 weeks.
I must say, Steve-O, as the Saints take the champions pennant with them to Australia, their team, although they have still got people like Andy Northey and Tommy Martin, of course, out for the season, they are beginning to look a much more stronger side. Let's hope that they can turn a couple of results round their way in Australia.
Well, this will be a confidence boost if they can continue on with this. A lot can happen, remember. 22-6 is not surmountable for Halifax. Difficult, perhaps. But St Helens have to keep this solid defence going. They cannot rest on their laurels. They've got to work hard all the way through.
Oh, and Newlove was looking for the interception then. It found Tuilangi. Tuilangi, as he fell, got the ball away to Powell. Screams for a forward pass. Referee says Halifax can play on. Last tackle, Lyle Powell.
Poor play by the centre, Paul Newlove. He went out of the line with no real conviction.
Arnold, but as he collected the ball in the field of play, he was tackled and dumped over the line by Bouveng. Goal line dropout.
Good positioning though by the winger, Danny Arnold, realising that the kick was coming through. Bouveng did well to ensure that he put him in goal area. As I say, it's Saints' nervous times for them. They can ill afford to give away another 6 points when they were in full command of this game.
Dean collects the dropout from Goulding, then collects a robust challenge from Cunningham. Here's Umanga. Well, Halifax would love to post a try right on the stroke of half-time. Rowley to Dean. Dean then helps it wide to Boothroyd. Boothroyd keeps the movement going again to Rowley. Rowley for the line, and Rowley, does he get the ball down? He has. That's a try. And Robert Connolly takes a look and gives them the 4 points they were looking for. Well, this the fight back. Halifax come back and they score a try right on the stroke of half-time. An important psychological time to score anything, and they've got a 4-pointer.
Well, the Saints' defence has been so solid up until this point. They went far too high on a couple of occasions and allowed the ball to keep alive. And this man, since he's come on, Craig Dean, really has sorted things out. And Rowley, who's having a fine match, he sneaks the try. And you can see they just stood off him. And he had the strength to get over. But the amount of space that they allowed him, that will not please their coach, Sean McRae.
So Pearson with another comparatively easy conversion attempt. And the gap is cut by another 2 points right on the stroke of half-time. Well, Saints were cruising at 22 points to nil. Then it became 22-6, and then Rowley, right on the stroke of half-time, has given Halifax Blue Sox a lifeline. Anthony Sullivan has got 2 tries in this first half. The first and the fourth of the 4 that St Helens have scored. Long and Alan Hunt with the new look there got the others. But back have come the Blue Sox in the last 7 minutes of the half. Pearson and Rowley with the tries. 22 points to 12 at half-time it is. And all this early work for St Helens, which built up the lead, well, is it going to waste?
Waiting, waiting, waiting. For many, the summer can drag without live football.
I want to see some action.
It drives some people mad, but help is at hand. Turn on Sky Sports 1 on Tuesday and see Newcastle face Dutch champions PSV Eindhoven in a pre-season warm-up. The Irish tournament live from Dublin, Tuesday at 8 on Sky Sports 1.
Sort of a 9-to-5 job. 5 in the morning now he is.
Why are Nationwide customers so well off? Because as a building society, we're able to ensure great value year after year. That's why it pays to decide Nationwide, the world's #1 building society.
It's now 37 over 40 of the biggest hits around. With the #1 from the Spice Girls, Ultranate, and the #1 from Eternal. Over 40 top chart hits. Coolio, Sash, and the Cardigans. Now 37 with 911 and No Doubt. The Verb and Todd Terry. Now 37, that's what I call music.
There was a time when batteries had a simple job, but today's high-tech world requires a high-tech battery. Introducing Duracell Power Check, the new generation of battery with a built-in power gauge that tells you how much power is left in your battery.
The FX Performer from Wilkinson Sword. A razor that combines 3 different parts which flex to follow your individual features for a close shave that's now so comfortable. Shaving becomes a pleasure. The FX Performer from Wilkinson Sword.
Everyone knows the old rules of photography.
Oh, that's right, film direct sunlight.
But new Kodak Gold Ultra breaks them all.
Using the same film in here.
Why not? New Kodak Gold Ultra performs brilliantly in almost all conditions.
And now,
Zid Cha-Cha.
And that shot will never come out.
Of course it will. Even action shots.
Too dark!
Just remember, if this film isn't in your camera, imagine the pictures you'd miss. New Kodak Gold Ultra. Film for all conditions.
When I am not in the swamp, I'm in the lake. And when I'm not in the lake, I'm in the swamp.
Thinking about a summer holiday? Yeah. Check into Ibiza Uncovered. Whether you're a lad on tour,
They think nothing of pulling your scarf.
a girl on the go,
We haven't been chatted up yet.
or anything in between.
One hopes you're going to meet the man of your dreams.
Good times are guaranteed.
Lads, a bit of advice. Keep your legs crossed.
In Sky One's wildest series ever,
That is disgusting.
Ibiza Uncovered, all new, tonight at 10.
Our season of evening horse racing continues on Monday night with races from Wolverhampton and Windsor. That's Monday at 6:30 on Sky Sports 3, the winning post. Right now it's the Saints, the champions of Super League, against the Halifax Blue Sox. Half-time at Nosey Road, St Helens 22, Blue Sox 12. Sullivan with 2 tries, Long and Hunt, Goulding back and kicking 3 goals. Pearson and Rowley in the 7 minutes before the half-time interval, and Pearson adding the extras twice. 22 points to 12. It's an old cliche, isn't it, about the game of 2 halves. This was a half of 2 halves, or a half of 33 minutes and 7 minutes, because for 33 minutes the Saints had this match well and truly in their pocket. They were cruising to victory. Then all of a sudden they took their foot off the gas, and Halifax have come up with 2 tries. Steve-O, I know you are as baffled as anybody as to why St Helens always seem to just go to sleep.
Well, Sean McRae will be spitting chips, and rightly so, because they really did control this game. The first half, it looked as though they were going to run riot. Halifax completely out of sorts. Their defence was working extremely well. And what do? They go to sleep. We mentioned 7 minutes before that the last thing that they wanted was to concede a try. So what do? They concede 2. I'm taking nothing away from the attacking ploys of Halifax in that final 7 minutes. But the defence, especially that last try, when they strolled across, I mean, they allowed Rowley, the hooker, I mean, take nothing away from him at all. They allowed him the latitude, gave him the space, and he took full advantage of it. But we were praising them for so long about their ability to work hard. It has been their problem over the past few weeks, is that Saints have not worked in the first and second marker division. So what do? They do it for 33 minutes. They work very, very hard, and they say, we've got this one. They're going to sleep. Well, we saw what happened on Friday. Castleford came back, and if they don't pull their socks off, I mean, the Blue Sox could very well get close to it. Well, maybe we should have them up.
If they don't...
Instead of pulling the socks off, let's just pull them up, all right?
Who are we talking about now? Who's going to pull the socks off?
If Saints don't pull up their pull up their socks... Anyway, if they don't pull their socks up, Saints, okay, the Blue Sox could win.
I hope you followed that, because I'm totally lost.
Well, I'm glad we got that sorted out.
But Craig Dean, I mean, when he came on at do
you want oxygen?
I do. I want something.
It looks like my.
I need a new partner. I think
he's gone. He's gone. There's nothing we can do about it.
Oh dear.
I think what he's trying to say is the fact that since Craig Dean has come out of since Craig Dean
take it over.
He has been the real star. We mentioned earlier there's a lot of people in the Halifax district feel that this man should be from the start, from the kickoff. But to be fair, I mean, the start that St Helens had, they should have controlled this. It was a beautiful play from Bobby Goulding. Bobby Goulding applied the pressure to Pearson, and it not the best effort by Richard Marshall, the prop forward, but you'd have to back a little half-back against a prop forward, and you could see him shouting to Sullivan, who's in magnificent form as a winger, pops up nicely for him, and full credit to him. And then this try from Sean Long. Well, we mentioned that Sean McRae was looking forward to seeing the combination between the 2 half-backs, Goulding and Long. Well, he certainly has injected a lot to it. But full credit to this guy, Matautia. Despite the fact that he's been playing for several weeks with injuries, a great run again, good work from Arnold, and from this, we get the situation where they scored the try. Long ball out wide, and let's just hold it there. You can see that this man is going to come out wide, and then he realizes that it's a short ball and he's off balance. There's no way in the world that they're going to stop Hunt there for the try. Tremendous effort, but again they were in full control. Long ball out wide. This is beautiful play by the loose forward Hammond. I'm sure that Hammond could have squeezed in at the corner, but why should you when you've got a winger like Sullivan, who is absolutely on fire at the moment? And we mentioned it, why on earth did they go to sleep? Well, it was an option that they tried early. They knew that Andy Haig, the full-back, was not the best under the high kick, and it proved to be. Good tackle, and Pearson, he picked up the pieces and scored the 4, and there was just a glimmer of hope. And then look at that. There was just nobody there. Rowley, the hooker, Full took advantage of that, and quite frankly, there is a glimmer of hope for a Halifax side that looked completely out of this game for the first 33 minutes. And there is that glimmer of hope for them. But if they score very early in the piece, who knows? St. Helens could be, and forget about picking the socks up or pulling their socks up, they could be thinking also, like a lot of teams have, of jumping on the plane to Australia. They go tomorrow morning. You never know.
They do, at 6:30, and I hope they've got their socks with them.
Now you say something for a while. You've recovered?
Well, I've recovered just, yes. I thought you were very good. Thank you very much for that. We all enjoyed it, I'm sure, didn't we? But the people...
I'll apply for the job now, is that it?
The people here at the match are actually watching youngsters on the field here at St. Helens, and we often talk, don't we, about getting the young children involved in the game, and this is great to see. And if you look very closely there is a young man in black and red who was 13, and he might well just have a slight resemblance to a former St. Helens great, Neil Holding, because that is young Matthew Holding, who is playing the ball and enjoying the rugby just as his dad did when he was here at St. Helens, the scrum half, who now, of course, is the head groundsman here.
And also see there any parents watching that every single one of those youngsters is wearing a head guard, and that's the reason they wear them, because they can enjoy their football, and if there is the occasional little hard tackle, then they are well and truly protected. So take note, anyone who is interested in bringing their youngsters into the game, they must always wear a head guard.
And they've all got their socks pulled up as well. Well, the man of the match now, I think I might give it to Steve-O after the half-time. But viewers, man of the match, and it's 0891 66 55 25. We'll tell you when to ring during the course of the second half. The prize, of course, as always on Super League Live, the mini television set. We'll tell you when to ring during the course of the second half. I hope you've enjoyed the half-time interval and the extravaganza from Mr. Stevenson here. He's pulling his socks up ready for the run back to the gantry for the second half. Saints ahead 22 points to 12, but the Halifax fight back might well have begun. Stay where you are. We'll be right back after these.
Ben was an alcoholic whose life was on the rocks.
Let's do it to it.
Sarah was a woman who had no one to turn to.
Is this a full night's work?
But then she met Ben.
If you'll come to my room for 1 hour, I will give you $500. Wow, you look extremely beautiful.
I do.
Some people need a miracle. Ben and Sarah just needed each other. Oscar winner Nicolas Cage and Elizabeth Shue, the encore presentation of Leaving Las Vegas, 10 o'clock tonight on the Movie Channel.
Kellogg's Sustain is the only cereal specifically designed for sportsmen like Henman. Serve after serve after serve. And that winning blend of light flakes, juicy raisins, almonds, and apple does help keep you going every morning. Go the distance with Kellogg's Sustain.
At last, stronger, thicker hair. and I push it to the limit.
Today we know that hair weakens if it loses ceramides, one of the hair's natural strengtheners. L'Oreal have duplicated ceramide, creating Ceramide R, which penetrates the hair, rebuilding its strength from within, leaving your hair feeling
stronger, thicker,
and easier to manage. L'Oreal Elvive shampoo with Ceramide R. Wash the strength back in.
Yours. Yours.
Population explosion. What are the Japanese on? Lipovitan. In a can from Japan.
Play Pringles Slam the Stat game. Eat, look inside, and you could instantly win. I've won. And be experiencing one of these extreme sport holiday prizes, like mountain biking in Morocco, white water rafting in Colorado. If you think that's too hot to handle, there are over 100,000 other great prizes to be won. Look out for the special Pringles pack and play Pringles Slam the Stack game.
Many designer names are included in the Boots Opticians half-price frame sale. See for yourself before they walk.
The British Lions' triumph over South Africa has lifted interest in rugby union worldwide. And now, from the world of rugby comes the Tri-Nations, featuring the fast, open and exciting style of play which has become the trademark of three of the greatest rugby nations in the world: New Zealand, Australia and South Africa. In association with Steinlager, South Africa v New Zealand next Saturday, live on Sky Sports 2.
Football is back on Sky Sports. Newcastle take on PSV Eindhoven in the opening game of this special pre-season tournament, live from Dublin. That's Tuesday night at 8 on Sky Sports 1. Right now, the champions of Super League St Helens taking on Halifax Blue Sox and leading at half-time 22 points to 12. 4 tries to 2, but significantly Halifax scored the last 2 tries in that first half. Here are the statistics. And Halifax saw more of the football than the Saints in that first half. Penalties are level pegging at 5-all. And despite seeing more of the football, Halifax did more of the tackling, but they missed 16. And their offloads, 15-6. They made the greater handling errors, 7-6. And they haven't really completed that many sets of 6 tackles. But it's just about even Steven in terms of the average meters gained every time they are in possession. Craig Dean, the little substitute who really does make such a difference to this Halifax team. As I was trying to say during the course of half-time, he made such a difference to John Pendlebury's team when he came on at Headingley in the game that we saw on Sky Sports against Leeds. But it's the champions, St Helens, attacking as we watch from left to right, who gets the second half underway. And Dean made a real hash of taking the kick-off, rolled forward, and then got a nasty bang. Totally accidental collision, but this could be a problem for Dean.
Knee into the ribs, I feel. Oh, dearie me. Vila Matautia really dropped there with the right knee. That is painful.
Wait for it. Wait.
Well, I'm not so sure that the referee couldn't have done something about that.
Play a ball.
Well, what he's done, he's decided to ask St Helens, Halifax rather, to move the ball away from the injured player and play the ball and let's get on with things. But it would be a real blow to Halifax if he were to go off and he is still receiving treatment. That would have been really painful, because apart from anything else, Matautia is a massive figure of a man, muscle and bone, and he really did get a bad bang on his ribs then, Craig Dean. Last tackle here for Halifax. Pearson gets up, plays the ball to Rowley. Rowley then to Umanga, who kicks downfield, but straight down the throat of Sullivan. Well, let's go downstairs and talk to Alistair Mann.
Yeah, just a nice line on Michael Jackson. The word is that he's about to become a father any moment, and in this day of the mobile phone and so on, I'm sure a message might come through to him should the news break during the game. So maybe if you see Michael Jackson going over to the sideline, you might understand why he's gone over.
Ball back on the inside from Goulding to Newlove. Yes, let's hope the news is good for Michael Jackson before the end of this match. It'll be even better if Halifax come up with another couple of tries here, but that's Matautia off the chest of Cunningham to Hammond. Under pressure from Bouveng, but he still gets the ball away to Arnold. Saints keeping this alive. That was Cunningham to Hammond, and eventually Hammond goes down under the challenge of Amon. Now Goulding across the face of play to Joint. Joint tackled by Pearson and Heighton. Last tackle. Saints 10 metres short of the line. Goulding in control again of the ball, and they put it down. It was Sean Long who was looking for a try. Arnold got a hand to it over the line, but Long had knocked on.
Set piece there by the two halfbacks. Bobby Goulding run towards the corner. You'll notice he kicks the football on the outside of the foot. He was onside there as well, Sean Long. The try was begging. You could see there was no expression on the official's face. He was quite happy with the position. Sean was behind the kicker to start with.
Well, the Saints won 58 points to 20 here against Halifax last year. Kieran Cunningham scored a hat-trick. Bobby Goulding got 18 points that day. It looked like they were on their way to another huge score against the Blue Sox until 7 minutes before half-time. But that's better tackling by O'Neill and Morley on Michael Jackson, the father-to-be. Bouveng at dummy half. Moana, the big kick downfield. Andy Haig runs it back, but is tackled by Pearson.
Good kick and chase there. There was three players moving forward, not allowing Saints, and that's great work by Bouveng.
Yes, forcing Sullivan back.
That really will lift their spirits. You can see that Bouveng was messing around with the ball in Sullivan's hand, nearly lost it.
Goulding looked over the shoulder for support and has to take them on himself. Looked for the penalty, Goulding. Robert Connolly unimpressed. Joint spins, holds on under pressure from Boothroyd and Heighton. Cunningham still going. Matautia. Rowley having a real problem putting him down.
All the Halifax defence are having that problems today. Vila Matautia is running really hard.
Little chip over the top for Alan Hunt, and Alan Hunt will score. Great try that. Second try for Hunt. Lovely little chip over the top, opened the Halifax defence up, and Alan Hunt was onside when the kick came, collected, and had a comparatively easy run to the line.
Creative play. They really got it right on this occasion. Beautiful chip over the top, and Hunt was in front there. Cunningham, the little hooker, run from dummy half, and Hunt came on at speed. What a tremendous combination there. You could see he was well onside. That is outstanding play by the Saints. And this man, who was outplayed last week, is certainly showing his wares tonight. Kieran Cunningham, tremendous effort.
Try from Hunt. Conversion about to come from Goulding. And he just pushed that. Pushed it to the right of the posts. 26-12.
You could see there Cunningham threw the dummy, went into the gap, and the man circled is Alan Hunt. Anticipated that, and notice how Cunningham has kicked the ball so it's spinning backwards. Even if it hit the ground, it probably would have just popped up very nicely indeed. And Alan Hunt, new hairstyle and all, went in for the vital try.
Great defence. It will please Sean McRae. Kick-off was again aimed towards Dean, who now has the thigh heavily strapped, where he obviously copped the knees of Vila Matautia earlier.
That's got to be a penalty. 2-on-1. Crowd don't like it, but there were two limpet mines there. Matautia, he was a man first in, and Joint just drags the ball away. The impact. Right arm. You can see Matautia still has hold of the collar of the skipper, Carl Harrison.
Dio Powell takes the tackle from Julian O'Neill. Halifax, they aiming to end their own 8-game losing sequence, but the Saints haven't won at home for 6. Quite remarkable, really, when you consider they went through 1996 without a blemish on their home record. And they haven't won a league game here at Knowsley Road, Halifax, since 1963. Their last win of any kind was December '84 in the old John Player Trophy. So it's an awful ground for them, Halifax. But this is a little run from Umanga, and he's done Goulding, and he's got the power, but he hasn't got the pace. Quick play the ball here, and Saints could be stretched. They are out wide. This is Dio Powell, and Dio Powell gets the try. But it was a run from the Umanga that opened them up down the middle, and then the ball was spun out wide quickly, and Dio Powell, the Welsh international, comes up with the try, and that's a try for him now in 4 of the last 7 games.
Put it down to the fullback, Mike Umanga. He came back on the inside. They were very slow to fill in. It was good scrambling defence that got back Sean Long and the fullback Andy Hay, but once they got the ball out wide, you could see there that Sullivan was in no man's land. He was left on his own, and the big centre, Dio Powell, this was a break from Umanga. The sweeper, Bobby Goulding, he just pushed him to one side. They got him down eventually. You could see the defence coming back. It was always going to be try time, and it was. Good effort, and what a way to come back. You could see the defence were all spread eagled. Nothing was going to stop this big fella. But put it down to the effort from the fullback, Mike Umanga.
Powell with the try, but Umanga with that run really did open them up the middle. They had no cover out wide that could prevent Powell getting over the line. So now Martin Pearson with this conversion. Not a bad effort, but just doesn't have the legs. 26-16.
All out on your own, plenty of space, and they took full advantage. Nice long ball. Great try. See how he carried the ball in the right, fended with the left. Excellent effort.
That's better. I like it. Let's keep going.
Deep kick-off. Chris Joint will run the ball back for St Helens. Only 10 points the gap now. And Craig Dean has had to go off. Simon Baldwin comes on. That's a blow for the Blue Sox. Dean with that heavy bang from this man, Vila Matautia, directly from the kick-off start of the second half. Morley lost the ball. That looked as though he went forward.
Well, the referee, Robert
to the
Connolly, is looking at the touch judge and saying, was it? He wasn't in a position to see that. He was already 10, 12 metres downfield.
Here's Newlove. Oh, and he just brushed away then the challenge of Moana.
There's Matautia. This is the incident. Well, pretty hard to tell from that angle. That's the reason why the official looked to the touch judge. Nice kick, though.
Good kick from Goulding. Arnold, though, got a shout from Robert Connolly that he was offside. So that's why Asa Ramon was able to pick up unchallenged. So now he gets the challenge from Hunt and Sullivan, who tracked him all the way down the touchline and then across the face of his own posts.
Good combination there. Good work there from Hunt and Sullivan. Gave the wing at Asa Ramon nowhere to go. Well, we mentioned it just before the half-time break that Saints have to make sure that they're defence is pretty solid, because Halifax have had this habit of bouncing back.
Harrison over the halfway line. He escapes the clutches of Matautia, but Hammond was there. Rowley dummy half. Moana, Pearson heightens the runner. Newlove, though, guarding him all the way. 11 minutes, second half gone. A try apiece in this second half. Pearson with the kick to the corner. Stands up for Haig.
Again, we see a good kick and chase. Pearson went on the blind side. Haig was in a good position. This is where they've got to really work hard. Hammond taking the ball up. Oh, that's a big swinging arm there from Jackson.
Matautia again. Just pushed Boothroyd out of the way. Gave it to Goulding, who helped it to Long. This now is Joint. Danny Arnold has been replaced by Joey Hayes. Joey Hayes, a 1996 British Lion, came back, underwent knee surgery, and hasn't really got his season going yet. He got the penalty try last week, and now he gets his first touch here against Halifax. He's quite a favourite at Knowsley Road. Last tackle, though, for the Saints. Long, Goulding, high kick. That's got snow on it. Umanga collects it, though. Nice play. It was
very dangerous play.
Tuilangi feels the full weight of Goulding's shoulder, and Morley was there as well.
Good defence by the little halfback Goulding. But the kick was a little bit far, and it allowed the fullback Umanga to bring back Ferretti Tuilangi. But a little bit dangerous, but when you're behind 26-16, you have to be a little bit more adventurous.
One above his average statistic for kicks in general play, attacking kicks from Bobby Goulding.
Chris Morley received a knock there. He went pretty low. Looks like a stray boot in the head.
So this is Baldwin taking on Long. Getting the pass away to Rowley. And that's Harrison. And now Michael Jackson. And here's Moana. And Moana's gone through a gap. Support is there from Pearson. Pearson taking on Haig. They had 3 men in support then, Halifax, if he could have got the ball away. So last tackle, Umanga, they're running it, Baldwin, he's dropped it. Saints have it back.
Well, Umanga tried to give the loose forward Simon Baldwin the chance. Interference at the play of the ball. And you can see that Baldwin tried a little kick forward, never made real contact to it. And you could see interference there. David Bouvang, the man who was the culprit, and that's allowed the pressure off, and it'll make it a little bit easier because Halifax have picked up a gear. Their defence is a little bit stronger.
And the gap's only 10 points. Oh, that was strong. Jackson on Morley, and he didn't like it, Chris Morley.
Well, we said that they stepped up a gear. And Morley had just received treatment. You can see the swinging arm from big second rower Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson just telling Robert Connolly there to look at the screen. It was never high, but Robert Connolly can't look at the screen. Sean McRae today won't want to either. He'll watch the video, though, I'm sure, before they head off to Australia in the morning. And he'll enjoy that run from Sullivan. Support from Hunt. Tackled, though, by Asa Amon. Quick play the ball, and Halifax could be stretched. This is Hammond. Out wide it goes again to Haig. Just ankle tapped at the last minute by Pearson. But they're 9 metres short of the line here, Saints, with Julian O'Neill.
Saints down to 12. Sullivan receiving treatment. O'Neill's good strength putting them through. Surely a ball out wide from Goulding.
There's Goulding. Fires it short into the arms of Joint, and Joint for the line. And he stretches out and scores and gives a thumbs up to the crowd. Right underneath the sticks, and Goulding the first to congratulate his vice-captain. Lovely switch of play, Joint with the power and Joint with the long arms to stretch out and touch down.
The forward that finished it off, but it was this run from Anthony Sullivan. He picked up a knock from this, but it was a great effort by the winger. Second effort. Harrison just caught his ankle, and from this, Goulding brings it back on the inside. It was a neat little switch. Chris Joint running the angle, had all the strength to get over. Not bad from a guy who wants to leave the club. Alan Hunt took it on from Sullivan, and from the resulting play of the ball, they put themselves into a position to ensure that this try was coming. Good effort there, good combination between Goulding and Joint. Skipper and vice-captain combining well.
Joint with the try, right underneath the sticks, and Goulding 3 from 5 from bang in front of the posts. Doesn't make any mistake from there, so it's 32 points to 16 now for Sean McRae's St Helens. Still time though for Halifax to come back into this match. They've done it a couple of times. They have shaken St Helens a little. They've worried them, and now they have a penalty.
Well, I've just seen Sean McRae, the Saints coach, get on the telephone. Lack of discipline there, and you could see that he went over the top. When you tackle, you're supposed to roll away, not over the top. And I'm sure that Sean McRae would have got the message out that make sure that you get the defence solid, but do not give away silly penalties. And Matautia is off.
Yes, gets a good round of applause from the St Helens supporters. And the referee, Robert Connolly, having given the penalty to Halifax, obviously was concerned by something that was said by the Halifax skipper, Carl Harrison, and gave Harrison and a couple of the others a real dressing down. Paul Anderson comes on then, another of the blonde rinse brigade. There he is. First tackle. Rowley to Pearson. Boothroyd. Well, they're making one or two half breaks down this left-hand side, Halifax.
Well, he's certainly lifted the side. Boothroyd, since he came on.
Moana.
Not on the...
Moana, lovely ball. Baldwin. Wasn't the best pass, and Heighton puts it down. It
well,
just didn't reach Heighton, did it?
He had a second go at it.
All he had to do was just hack it and then fall on it.
Well, there's no one there.
And it's easy for us to say that from up here. All you have to do.
But a good work, though, by Moana, and Baldwin the loose forward. Not the best pass, though. Well, a chance went begging. And the problems still arise for the Saints defence. Again, you saw them in and around the ruck area. And that just shows you that the first and second markers often go to sleep.
Goulding, Hammond. This is out long and finds New Love. New Love to Sullivan.
We're all off, really.
Been a good contest between Tuilangi and Sullivan.
Oh, the kick from Hammond out on the full. Panic kick from the loose forward.
And a bit of pressure from Martin Pearson, though he's usually a lot more effective than that.
So the players brought back to where the kick happened, and it's the turnover. And here's Umanga, and now Moana, and Umanga again, back to Heighton. He hangs on to it this time. 30 metres away from the line.
See, again, we saw that Halifax, when they bring the ball back on the inside, at the play the ball, they're finding that gap.
Here's Rowley. Good run from Rowley. Harrison. Nowhere for him to go, though, so he takes it down the middle, then releases the ball to Heighton. Good strong run from Heighton. Brought to ground in the end by Joint. Here's Pearson. Moana. Jackson back on the inside. Morley watched him all the way, though.
Well spotted there by the substitute Chris Morley. Knew that Jackson was coming back on the angle.
Harrison trundles the ball down the middle again. Rowley. Neat play from Rowley. Support arrives from Pearson. Pearson all wrapped up by Goulding.
He's had a fine game, hasn't he, Paul Rowley, the Halifax hooker. Been everywhere.
Out wide it goes. That's a try, and it's Powell again. It's his second. Dio Powell, the Welsh international. Good play from Halifax. They got the ball out wide, and Powell was there, and he's got some strength, and he's got some pace, and he had the power to get over.
Well, the Blue Sox will just not lie down. Full credit to them. It was Rowley again that spotted that Sullivan had come in a little bit too tight, allowing the big centre Dio Powell to go out wide. What a game this hooker is having, Paul Rowley. been everywhere in attack and defence. And again, carbon copy of his first try from Powell. Carries the ball in the right, fends with the left. Nothing that Sullivan could do. That's a fine effort. See how we missed the man out. That allowed the space for him to squeeze over. Good thinking from Rowley. Good finish from Powell.
Had an unhappy year in Australia with the Perth Reds. Now back in the British game. Martin Pearson, another difficult conversion attempt for him. And he's just dragged it round, but not quite quickly enough. So the gap is down to 12 again, 32-20.
See how they use Umanga as a dummy runner. He'll go across the face of his chest, out wide. Powell's in. Well-worked effort. Good try.
Dio Powell, 2 tries apiece then in this second half. And Umanga's kick off into the arms of Sean Long. Joint takes it over from him, then takes the tackle from Baldwin. Now O'Neill. He knows he's been in a match, Julian O'Neill. Anderson was the dummy runner. This is Morley.
Well, this is a problem with referees. You could see there are about 4, but there's especially one, which I think it was Moana, who was about 10 metres in front of the man on the blind side of the referee. Well,
and he was offside.
But to be fair, they could do that on a few occasions. 1-on-1. Harrison had reefed that ball before Umanga joined in. But he's going to go check now, is the referee Robert Connolly, as to what occurred after that.
Well, Harrison is claiming there's nothing wrong with it.
Well, he was reefing the ball away, and it was only the legs that actually touched the fullback, Mike Umanga. So I think this should be a feed to Halifax. It's not.
No. Halifax man, 1-on-1, and he pulled the ball forward. Tommy Martin sitting alongside Sean McRae.
So the big prop forward, Carl Harrison, deemed to be dragging the ball backwards in a knock-on position. Nice to see the referees using the touch. Good kick forward.
It's a great kick, and it's a race between Hayes and Amon, and Hayes was just shoulder charged out of the field of play.
And that just touched the corner post. Good play, though, by Hayes. It hit his knee, and then you see it just touches. But what great vision from Bobby Goulding. You could see the winger was slightly in off the touchline, and at 32-20 you can take risks like that. Remember, it was from the scrum base, from the first play of the ball, or before the first play of the ball, should I say.
Here's Heighton bouncing off the tackles. Heighton, a real handful to put down. Harrison over the halfway line. Good run from Harrison. Support arrives from Baldwin. He's got support this time from Umanga, and Halifax are fighting back. Umanga with the try. A rumbustious run down the middle. The referee, Robert Connolly, has not yet signalled the try has been given. He's handing this on to the video ref, and he wants to check whether the Halifax players knocked on at the last play of the ball. Umanga's celebrating. He doesn't know yet that the try has not been given.
Well, you can see he lost the football, Harrison. I think it's Harrison. He didn't even play it with his foot either. Sorry, it was Heighton. Now, was he interfered with it? I know he didn't play it with his foot, so that's an offence. He did lose it. That's an offence. But was he interfered with? Did the player? It didn't look that way. It looks as though Heighton was trying to get on with it very quickly and made a real meal of it. That is lost the ball.
And he didn't play the ball, so I mean he's been caught on 2 counts.
Well, I think we'll have a NO in front of the TRY on this occasion.
Well, we'll see. Umanga and everybody waiting. Umanga thinks he scored the try. The video ref, though, will make the decision. The try is wiped out. It was eagle eye by the referee, Robert Connolly.
Well, Umanga not happy, and rightly so. It was a fine piece of football between Umanga, Baldwin and Harrison. They combine extremely well. One of the few occasions that Harrison now...
Not wishing to split hairs, the St Helens defender had hands all over him as he was trying to get to his feet. It could have gone the other way.
Of course it could. The rules state you're not allowed to touch the player, and you could see that he had two hands on him. In fact, the right arm was well and truly underneath, and probably having a little bit of a dabble at the football. It's a fine line for the officials.
Well, he was right to hand it on. Matautia returns for the Saints. Robert Connolly absolutely right to hand it on to the video ref.
That ball was not played backwards, that went forward, but there again was a man interfering with him at the play of the ball.
Well, who's your man of the match? It's your view we want, of course. 0891 66 55 25. Vote now. You could be a winner with us on Super League Live, as well as the man of the match. New Love, tracked all the way by Tuilangi, finished off by Michael Jackson. Didn't like it, New Love. High kick from Goulding. Umanga's underneath it. Could hear Hunt steaming down on him. That's Sullivan, though, who effected the tackle.
Good take by the fullback. He's had a fine match, too. Hasn't been frightened of chiming into the three-quarter line.
Saints now caught all offside at the play of the ball. The referee absolutely right.
Sullivan was one of them. Sean Long was another. Well, that really could have turned the game. Halifax will be displeased with the no-try effort, but there was little doubt that Highton had lost control of that ball. But as Eddie mentioned, was he interfered with in the first place? Well, according to the officials, so the try is a no-try.
Here's Rowley, and now Boothroyd. Well, we saw Craig Dean limp off earlier. He's now sitting alongside Alistair Mann.
Craig, it seems to be the Halifax way. I think you were, what, 24 down against Warrington before you started playing. What's the idea behind that?
I don't know. We always aim to have a big start, but lately we've been getting off to bad starts and start throwing the ball around and playing well after 20 minutes. You know, you can't give a side like St Helens 20 minutes to start off and score them points against us.
What about the mood? I mean, you came back from Australia pretty down in the dumps, but you seem to have shown spirit today.
Yeah, I think we've shown spirit in a couple of games, but only for 50, 60 minutes, and that half an hour has been letting us down.
Is that magic quality, intensity, the thing that's missing?
I don't know about intensity, it's just everything we do seems to go against us, really. You know, the luck's not on our side at the moment.
And neither for you. I notice your legs all bound up.
Yes, I did it in the first tackle of the kick-off, like, but it can only get better.
Thanks, Craig. It's the only way to look at it, Craig Dean. Things can only get better. This is Moana now.
Good tackle previous from Bouvang. Dislodged the ball from Alan Hunt. Gave them possession. They're still not throwing the towel in, are the Blue Sox. And St Helens' defence is looking somewhat tired.
Rowley to Pearson. Here's Highton taking on Goulding. Matautia comes in to add his weight. Still 12.5 minutes left of this match. 12 points the difference. Harrison down the middle. Oh, he went without the ball that time, did Umanga.
No, first offence.
Referee will take the first knock on.
No full advantage by St Helens. Come down, you're ahead of ball, no full advantage.
Harrison trying to keep this ball alive. I think it was Umanga that went without the football.
Yeah.
Just got fingertips to it. We mentioned the fact that the fullback, eager to join in the three-quarters, has been very effective indeed. Made several bursts throughout this game.
Here's Joey Hayes. Cunningham to Hunt.
Looks a bit forward, that.
Slightly, didn't it? Hunt now at the middle. Gets away from Umanga. Pearson round him, but he gets the pass out to Sullivan. Hat-trick time for Sullivan. Hat-trick time for Sullivan! Yes, it is! Terrific effort from Anthony Sullivan. And after a no-try decision up the other end, maybe that has sealed it for the Saints. Sullivan, 3 tries. his 12th in Super League, and there is an unhappy man, Carl Harrison, who is having a go at the referee.
Well, he thought it was a forward pass, so did I, but let's not take anything away from that effort from Anthony Sullivan. You don't see them come as good as this. That was a passing question. It looked slightly forward, but Hunt took it on. And you can see that Hunt was about a quarter of a yard in front of the hooker Kieran Cunningham. But this is something quite sensational. This had to be scored. Alan Hunt delayed the pass out wide, and watch for the twinkle toes. 1 step, 2 steps, that's the 3rd one. Step on the gas. This is the swerve, in and out. That is one fine try, Mr. Sullivan. That just looked forward, didn't it? Remember, of course, we keep saying it, the officials do not have the advantage of the replay. He didn't need a replay, so I'm sure that he will watch it many times over. Well, his father would have been extremely proud of that effort.
Long with the conversion, change of kicker for Saints. Sean Long adds the extras. Yes, Clive Sullivan, Anthony Sullivan's late father, would have been really proud of that, as Steve-O says. His 2nd hat-trick of the season, got one in the cup semi-final against Salford, but that's his 1st in Super League.
Well, we said that the winger would perhaps watch this on several occasions, and why not? It was a humdinger. Really something out of the top-class bag. Beautiful steps. 3 in all, 1 superb swerve.
Halifax have the ball back.
The hooker Rowley down, clutching the knee. They've been in the wars of the Blue Sox today.
Was very untidy at the play of the ball just previous to that. And the ball just skipped out, and Halifax got the possession back. Well, Carl Harrison now has, first of all, I was going to say lost the ball, but the ball was stolen in a more than one-on-one tackle. But Carl Harrison, having had a go at the referee, Steve-O, has suddenly started to lose his rag a bit.
Well, you could see that Newlove was actually hanging on the back of joint. Pretty hard for the referee to decide when you can see a man like Newlove obviously enjoying the joining into the tackle, but it was a great fend on Sean Long. Sean Long wondered what on earth had hit him. And he's fired up is the Halifax skipper, Carl Harrison. He was far from impressed by the official not pulling that forward pass back.
0891 66 55 25 for your votes for man of the match. Anthony Sullivan obviously is a candidate with his hat-trick, but some good workmanlike performances out there on both sides, to be fair. Harrison, he's now saying the ball went backwards, and I think he has got a case.
Well, that appeared to just run past the fingers on a backward motion. Well, that went backward.
Well, he's been pulled by the referee for a knock-on.
Well, if he was quite upset before, I think he'd be rather livid now.
He didn't say much on that occasion, though, although he had plenty to say when the try was given to Sullivan. The hat-trick try, of course. Not on this occasion. Powell thundering in with a challenge. That's 2 Welsh internationals there. Nice work from Hammond. He gives it to Matautia. Out wide it comes to Hayes. Hayes back on the inside to Hunt. Clatter. Bouveng and Harrison.
That's the 2nd time that Bouveng has lined up Alan Hunt. Well, we spoke earlier, didn't we, about the big battle between Sullivan and Tuilagi. On that occasion, they got really involved with Dio Powell on that occasion with the tackle. It was a big one. Ooh!
Hammond had a real swing of the boot. The ball's bounced. Hayes is touched down, but the referee will bring it back for a knock-on. But there was a big swing of the boot as Danny Seal went to collect the loose ball.
Well, I don't know about this one. Ooh, how on earth could that be a knock-on? Unless he got a fingertip to it on the 2nd occasion. Head-on shot, perhaps, may show it. Yeah, it's off the chest. So that'll be classified as the knock-on.
I thought that Danny Seale's head was on its way to the post then. It was a real wild kick, wasn't it? And Seale was in there where the boot was flying.
I must say there is something creeping into our game, Eddie, that I'd like to mention, and hopefully the officials will clamp down very quickly. The players going and remonstrating with the referee. It's getting very, very much like another sport that I know, and we can do without it. The man in the middle is in charge. Big hit from Vila Matautia. What a wow of a game he's had. But time and time again, we're getting more and more players running and questioning the official. Be it whether he's right or wrong, you've got to respect the man who is in charge.
Well, the trouble is there aren't enough people respecting the man in charge of the middle at the moment. There are coaches having a go weekly. There are players having a go weekly. There are, I suppose, commentators, Steve-O, having a go at the man in the middle weekly. And their position is obviously just weakened by all the comment that goes on about them. But you're right, they are the men in the... Without them, there would be no match.
Perfectly true. We do make comments, but I don't run in front of a referee and make comments in that fashion. And they are out there being paid big money, and they should respect the official.
Yes, well, he's got a yellow card in his pocket, hasn't he? And he's got a red card in his pocket. And what's the term? Foul and abusive language?
Ungentlemanly conduct, you call it whatever you like, but either way, it wants nipping in the bud. And I'm afraid he's called held. Matautia, as soon as he made a step, will be a penalty to Halifax. Tackle was complete. Did the ball carrying arm touch the ground? Yes, according to Robert Connolly. And yes, on the replay. So no qualms about it, but the big fella really has hit his straps today.
Chris Joint's gone off to a warm round of applause, and Derek McVie comes on. Meanwhile, here comes Dio Powell, another man on a hat-trick. Lovely ball out the back door, a little bit too high, maybe for Tuilangi. But it was worth taking a chance at 38-20 with just 3.5 minutes to go.
What a great effort, though, from Powell. So strong, he's a big centre. Just trying to flick the ball at the last minute. He really has injected himself out wide. A lot of speed. He's such a big man. He's a hard man to close down. And there you see, he's more of a provider, is Powell, but on this occasion, 4 times he's made those clean breaks.
Here's Alan Hunt.
Nice little move there on the blind side. Good combination between the centre Hunt and little halfback Bobby Goulding. He's made a difference. Oh, that was a big hit from Harrison.
On O'Neill.
Fair and square. He's given it to each other throughout this game.
They have Matautia back then to Morley.
Just on the borderline, perhaps, from Jackson.
Morley had a big smile at him, though. Here's Hayes.
I must say, it has been played in quite a fine spirit. The only negative that I can pull out on this occasion is the fact that the way that they have complained to the referee in not a good fashion.
Well, this is the Super League, and after this match, the Super League in Europe takes a break because the World Club Championship swings back into focus, and it's Penrith Panthers against Warrington, Friday at 1 o'clock on Sky Sports 3. The action begins in the second phase. It continues Friday at 7. We're live at Leeds for Leeds against the Adelaide Rams. Auckland take on Bradford next Sunday. We have that match for you live at 5:30 in the morning, replayed at 11 a.m. And Wigan against Brisbane next Sunday night at 6:30, and that is a match that I'm looking forward to. And then Cronulla Saints next Monday, 10:25 in the morning, replayed at 4:30. And to round the weekend off, London against Canberra next Monday night, 7 o'clock from the Stoop. Fantastic stuff.
Well, the knock on there by Martin Moana, trying to get the ball out wide. Nothing that Heighton could do about it. They're really just trying to keep the ball alive. They know it's a Pretty hard job now at 38-20. It looks as though the Saints will take those 2 valuable points. At least it will give them some hope. It will lift their spirits for the trip to Australia in the morning.
Yes, they leave at 6:30. Just a point, by the way, about our coverage of the game here on Sky Sports. From the 1st of June through to the end of this month, we'll have brought to you 42 matches, including Super League, the World Club Championship and the First Division. 42 matches in all, and also a weekly magazine programme. The game could hardly be served better anywhere, if I might be so bold. And we love every minute of it, don't we, old boy?
Always a smile on my face. 7 days a week I'd watch it. 10 games a day.
Inside the last 10 seconds. Crowd counting the clock down. This will be the last play before the final siren. Boothroyd loses it. Jackson picks it up. Still going, Jackson. Unloads it to Rowley forward. Last action of this match at Nosey Road. Shake hands all round now. A St Helens victory, 38-20. They will go off to Australia in good heart. They bid bon voyage to their fans, or their fans bid bon voyage to them. Halifax battled them all the way for the points, but Anthony Sullivan's hat-trick at the end of the day, obviously the difference between the two sides. And is Sullivan your man of the match? Find out when we return.
The rush hour begins.
Just listen to that, motors for a treat.
Fueled by instinct, driven by the need to win, the ultimate test for man and machine.
Oh, but it's Fogarty!
Britain's Carl Fogarty defends his lead in the title race, exclusively live from the Laguna Seca track in the United States.
He is determined to win here.
The World Superbike Championship tonight at 10:30 on Sky Sports 1.
Play Pringle's Slam the Stack game. Eat, look inside, and you could instantly win.
I've won.
And be experiencing one of these extreme sport holiday prizes, like mountain biking in Morocco, white water rafting in Colorado. If you think that's too hot to handle, there are over 100,000 other great prizes to be won. Look out for the special Pringles pack and play Pringle's Slam the Stack game.
Slam the Stack.
The new Renault Megane RT Sport. It talks your language.
Go. Stop a minute, kid. Go.
Halfords, we're nuts about cars.
Now's the time to start filling in your tax return form. That way, if you get a bit lost, you'll have more time to get any help you might need from your tax office, who will be happy to steer you in the right direction.
Something rather French is happening in California. Supervised by one of France's most experienced winemakers, grapes from the Napa Valley are being fermented and aged in the bottle in the Méthode Traditionnelle, resulting in a world-class sparkling wine, of which California and France can be truly proud. Cuvée Napa, Californian sparkling wine with a French accent.
Dying moment. One last attack. Shearer setting up through the centre. Long ball to Shearer. Shearer! An unbelievable goal!
Lucas Aid Sport is designed for top athletes. It delivers fluid and energy fast, so I'm always ahead of the game.
Look at this. Bleach will fix it. What? Bleach on my silk shirt?
Don't worry, it's new Ace, the safest type of bleach for all your laundry.
If you've never seen Jackie Chan before, you've never seen action.
It's him! Give me that gun!
There are no stuntmen, no stand-ins, and no computer-generated effects. In this latest action-packed movie, starring Jackie Chan, Rumble in the Bronx.
In tomorrow's 10p Times, there's a free Times sports supplement, plus a 16-page guide to the Open.
So we've had 11 tries here at Knowsley Road, and St Helens have won by 38 points to 20, and Anthony Sullivan with the hat-trick. He was the man who led the way. 2 tries, though, for Dio Powell of the Blue Sox. Now, the man of the match, Paul Rowley, got 17%. Bobby Goulding on his return, 30% of your votes. Anthony Sullivan, though, is the winner with 37% of your votes. He's your man of the match, and he's talking now to Alistair.
Anthony Sullivan, you've been voted man of the match. I suppose you can't think of a better way to send yourself off to Australia than with a hat-trick.
Yeah, it's nice to score tries, but overall team performance wasn't what we was looking for. We've let in too many points. I don't think Sean will be a bit disappointed about that.
So you're all set for Australia?
We are. We've learnt a lot from the 3 games and that we had over here. I think we've improved a little bit. We've still got, heaps to improve on. We've all been working hard this week. We'll be working hard next week, and we'll just go out there and give it our 100%.
All the best to you.
Thank you very much.
Yes, all the best from all of us. Karen James of Warrington has won the viewers' competition. She named the man of the match, Anthony Sullivan, correctly. She wins the mini TV set. So the champions set off to Australia in good spirit, I think. 38 points to 20, fair enough, against the Halifax Blue Sox. But, Steve-O, maybe a point that Sean McRae will pick up on is the fact that they allowed Halifax back into the game time and time again, and they conceded those 20 points.
Well, at least he knows what he has to fill in. He knows that there's a problem in and around the play-the-ball area. We mentioned it in the first half, that their first and second markers are not working very, very hard. And I'm afraid against the Australian sides, you're going to have to do that for the full 80 minutes. But at least he knows what you have to do. So he can work on it. He's got plenty of time. They set off tomorrow morning, so they can get themselves sorted out, and it's a bit of a touring situation, and I think that Saints will make a very good account of themselves. I think that Sean McRae will be very pleased. He's bouncing back to form. We've got Cunningham, and also we've got the fact that Matauti were playing quite strong, and I think the combination of Bobby Goulding and Sean Long, that worked very well for certain periods of the game. So I think it's a very positive thing that they can go down under with, and Halifax, they showed a few little touches, so they can work hard, but for mine, he was definitely the man of the match. I thought Sullivan had a tremendous game, and this will live in my memory for many, many years to come. And I mentioned the fact of his late father, Clive Sullivan, would have been very proud of this. It was tremendous. 3 wonderful steps, good balance, and look at the in and out and the swerve and the speed to score a try. I can assure you they do not come much better than that.
Yes, man of the match performance, wonderful try from Anthony Sullivan, one of 3 that he scored here. Hat-trick hero tonight. He's gone home with the man of the match award. Let's take a look at the way this result has affected the table. The Saints have leapfrogged Wigan now, and they are in the top 4. Bradford march on, 17 wins from 17 games. Leeds second, London third, Saints fourth. Down at the bottom, Oldham, Castleford, Paris. What a race now, what a battle now to avoid the big drop to the First Division. Now, what's coming up on Sky Sports in the coming week or 2? World of Super League, first of all, Thursday at 8 o'clock. You'll notice this week, Thursday at 8, World of Super League, Sky Sports 1. Then the World Cup Championship swings back into action. Penrith, Warrington, Friday at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. That kicks us off. And then on the Friday evening, we're at Leeds Rhinos against the Adelaide Rams, live at Headingley from 7. So it's all starting up again. World Club Championship Phase 2. We'll be here with you every weekend between now and the end of the competition 3 times. So we look forward to your company. Bye-bye.
The British Lions' triumph over South Africa has lifted interest in rugby union worldwide. And now, from the world of rugby comes the Tri-Nations, featuring the fast, open and exciting style of play which has become the trademark of 3 of the greatest rugby nations in the world. New Zealand, Australia and South Africa. In association with Steinlager, South Africa v New Zealand next Saturday, live on Sky Sports 2.
That's Ross and me at the airport. That's Ross and me at Oxford. That's Ross and me at Blackpool. That's Ross and me in Wales. That's Ross and me at Big Ben. That's Ross and me at Edinburgh. That's Ross and me at Welwyn Garden City.
Enjoy the new tasty tropical shake, and why not grab some cool 99p shades at McDonald's, Britain's biggest summer attraction.
Oh, and that's Ross and me in France.